Hi, everybody. Welcome to Nourishing Your Multidimensional Body once again on Sunday at 1 p.m. Hello, hello. And while everybody is kind of logging in and chiming in this morning, I just put up a picture of you folks know that I'll just kind of babble about myself for a minute. That I own the Lake Clear Lodge, and the picture on the top is a picture of from a bride. We just had a wedding here a couple of weekends ago, and she sent me these pictures and some awesome pictures of the lodge itself and some bridal pictures and wedding pictures. It was a really cool Adirondack wedding. So since we have Keith Allen Kay here today that we're going to be talking with, and just all about beautiful colors that just kind of fit in. She handed me that kind of last night, so I fit that in. And we're going to be talking about holographic healing. So welcome, Keith.
Well, I'm so glad to be here. Thanks, Cathy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Keith is one of these guys that years ago I saw his work and connected a little bit, and now years later, as we've both kind of gone down our paths, we've connected again. And right now, I'm actually taking a class with Keith, and I'll have him tell you about what he does in terms of holographic healing, looking at energy from an artist perspective. So, Keith, take it away. Tell us what you do and what you can offer in terms of that.
Wonderful. Well, I often refer to myself as a transformational artist,
Mm-hmm.
I believed a long time ago that light and imagery and geometry, certainly sacred geometry, has an enormous effect on the soul that can change and really transform our what I call our environment, which is everything that we're taking in our life. Whether it's right in front of us or the stuff that is present with us in our imagination, as far as our relationships, connection, all those things are patterns of energy. I certainly believe in what we call a fractal holographic universe. I believe that everything that we're experiencing is really a projection of information. It's a hologram. It's a very convincing and powerful hologram, but it's being projected from our infinite self. And so, as it moves in and we interact with this very persistent, very advanced hologram, we create our own life. We create our own challenges. We create our own dramas. We create all of these things in relationship to who and what we are. But it's like, for example, going into a movie. I remember the last really dramatic movie where I felt people just like the whole theater was transformed. I think it was Titanic. And afterwards, people were just, you could just feel them so emotionally enraptured by what had taken place in this movie. And, but imagine going into that movie, and while you're in there, you can get rather lost, right? You can really get connected, and the visual images are so remarkable, and the storylines and the music all allow us to kind of lose ourselves within the movie, right? But the truth is that at no point do I ever actually join the movie, right? I'm interacting and moving with it. Now that's not exactly this hologram, because we are affecting this hologram. What we do is affecting everything else, but it's still a hologram. It's still an experience by which we get to enter into, interact with, and change. But we at no point ever stop becoming infinite life beings that come from infinite space, outside of time and space, outside of judgments, especially. In fact, one of the key elements of the work I do is in around judgments, because judgments actually are only experienced within the hologram, within this finite experience. They don't carry on into the infinite, and the reason why is there's nothing to judge within the infinite. Within the pure infinite, there's no distinction. There's no this or that. It's all one and connected, and so there's nothing you could judge, right? I used to be in theater throughout high school and in college, and one of my experiences, one of my favorite experiences was improvisational theater. So I did a lot of improvisational theater and loved it. Loved the experience. It was such an incredible thing. And so I imagine that environment, that this hologram is kind of like the theater, right? Where we're interacting with one another in somewhat of an improvisation, that what we do affects the other people on the stage. But let's say Cathy and I were on stage together, and let's say I in this scene, for whatever reason, maybe somebody called out this particular scene, I rob Cathy, right? I take her purse and I run off, and she's on stage and whatever. Well, when I get off stage, there's nobody off stage. The police aren't off stage ready to take me into custody, right, for robbing Cathy. Why? Because it was an experience, right? Even though emotionally it might, if we did a really good job emotionally, we could have been really connected to the scene. She could really be crying and having an emotional sense of loss, even though obviously her purse is sitting right off the stage. Well, in the same way, there, in this hologram, outside of it, there's nobody judging us. There's nobody stopping us and saying, you really did a bad job, because everything's amazing. All of us have watched movies. Sorry, there's bugs here. We've all watched movies that have terrible things in them, right? They have a scene or something that really presses us emotionally on some level, right? But it's still just a movie. And when we can allow ourselves to move outside of this finite experience, transformation can happen in moments, whether we become a catalyst of that. And so the class that Cathy's doing right now with me is called the Holographic Healer. And one of the essence of that is being a catalyst for healing. I believe strongly that we don't actually heal somebody, like our force of will and our connection with the divine, and I zap them and all of a sudden, whoa, they become healed, right? I believe that we are all divine beings, and any healing happens through that soul. Now, doesn't mean that I don't influence them or I can't be a catalyst and an open door for healing to take place, but essentially somebody has got to come into that place, or that experience of faith that says, I can get past my own history, past my own judgments, and absolutely bring in a transformative healing environment.
And I just wanted to say we've got some folks here say, Keith, they love your work. We've got some folks here. Hey, Christy and Judy and Rhonda, hello. Kim, you made it. Yeah, I'm doing what I wanted to show people. Let me put this one up. This in Keith's class. So this is, do you call this a personal mandala or fractal?
Yeah, well, the name evolves over time. It started off as a personal fractal mandala. I call them fractal holograms often, because that's really what they are, is a hologram, and they're made from fractals based on someone's numerology.
Right. So there's a lot of folks here who know me. I know the names coming on here. So guys, this is me. This is me and fractal, and I've had a couple of conversations and shared this. I mean, can you imagine if we, let me put these all up too. Can you imagine if we related to each other in those pictures? I mean, because I was thinking I'm going to post this out, and I mean, print it out and put it on my mirror, because I'm thinking, I look in the mirror and go, I am beautiful. Well, you know something, I really don't believe that. But when I look at my picture, I go, wow, I'm really beautiful. Aren't you guys beautiful? And if we just kind of related to each other and kind of these fractals, what a crazy world it would be, right?
Absolutely. We are absolutely the most beautiful, exquisite beings ever. I mean, we are divine light moving in the most beautiful, elegant, graceful ways. And we've come here on purpose. This world that we're living in is not a mistake. It's not broken. There's nothing that has to be fixed. not that we can't transform it, but it's all serving the most beautiful purpose. And when you can allow all your judgments, and my one of the reasons why I know this healing process works is that, let's say that I bring someone in that experience, and I use touch and light a lot in my healing. So I might put a hand, let's say, on the top of their chest and maybe one on their back. And when I enter into that space, I honor them. I see their beauty. I see their fractal essence, right? Where there is nothing broken, there is nothing, there's no blemish, there's no oops, there's no, oh, if only they fix this, there's no disease. I'm
Mm-hmm.
that perfect space. And in that space, gives the freedom for someone to sometimes move past their own history, right? Move past their own ideas of who they are and their assumptions, and allow something totally new to come in, and the most remarkable transformations can happen in a moment. Cathy's putting up some holograms here. These are some of the holograms I've done for other souls. They're all created through numerology. So when I do one of these holograms, people send me some basic information that then gets interpreted into a numerology report. And from that, Spirit gave me many, many years ago kind of a processing of using those numbers to create fractals. And fractals are pure geometry. They're made from numbers. And so that began to happen. I've done these fractal holograms from people all over the world, from Louise Hay to Deepak Chopra to Greg Braden, and then thousands and thousands of other souls all over the world. So that was part of the classes that they were able to get a hologram in that process.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think when I was looking for pictures to put up, I think that one is Greg Braden. I'm not
Did it?
sure, but I
Right.
think that's Greg Braden.
From many
That,
years ago. Right.
mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yep, cool. And you're doing something new as well. You actually project these holograms. So you're going to have to correct me and tell me what you do. But you project holograms onto bodies, right?
Absolutely. So that was really my original desire. Just the technology wasn't there when I started all these. But over the last 2 or 3 years, I've been able to use some really cool technology called pico projectors, which are just small projectors, LED projectors. And I can actually project holograms directly onto the body in such a powerful way that you it almost looks like shape shifting, and the holograms usually that I project are animated, so they're moving and transforming, and it is just one of the most profound experiences. And in that environment, because we are light, and our body and our skin particularly receives that light. Our skin, I believe, is our most perceptive organ. So when our skin is actually receiving these fractal holograms, it is aware on a cosmic level of the communication and the reminding of our beauty in the midst of this world, in the midst of all of our stories. There's something beautiful that is here. And so I'm starting a project. I'm seeking some funding and doing some stuff because I want to do it on a really big level. But I'm creating something called holographic light chamber, so that somebody can step into these mobile environments and literally be surrounded in light. And all of these holograms have powerful intentions, and what happens in people's souls is just breathtaking. They come out almost always looking younger, vibrant, full of life. Their body's energized. It really is amazing. So that's one project. I'm also, which was another long time dream. I'm actually going to create a whole series of products like dresses, yoga pants, yoga tops, yoga mats. I'm doing duvet covers for the bed, a whole series of products that people can actually put on their body. Because again, all of our clothes reflect something. When we choose colors that we're wearing, it affects our soul. It changes us, right? And so imagine having a fractal hologram and all the light that you're surrounded with is somehow communicating through that hologram right to your skin. So I'm pretty excited. It's been a dream that I wanted to do. I just didn't know if I could tackle it, and so right in the midst of everything, I'm hopefully maybe even next week, but it's rather involved to set up an entire store. But I'm going to have a store worldwide, and there'll be dresses and other things that people can use as a way to interact with these fractal holograms.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And as you've been talking, people have been asking how to get in touch with you. So I've been putting up your email and your website. That's basically KeithAllenK.com for your website, right?
Yeah, and actually the best thing to do is go to Facebook.com fractal hologram, one word. I'm there far more than I'm at my website. Most of what I do to the whole world, all the stuff that I create and put out for free, is all available at uh, Facebook.com front slash quantum fractal. So it's really the best way. You can message me there. And then certainly email me if you're interested. Cathy asked if I'd do a special, and absolutely. So, kind of essentially the fractal holograms are about $90, and so I was going to do 10% off and basically make them $80. I don't have because we just talked about this afternoon, so I don't have an automated way. But if you're interested, just email me or message me on Facebook and tell me you were on the call, and I'll set it up and send a PayPal request and get all your information and create a hologram for you.
Yeah, they're really cool. I mean, when I got mine in the mail, it's almost like you don't know what you're going to see, and you open it up and you go, "Oh my gosh, isn't that so cool?" And just like I said, I was having conversation with a few folks because someone else had theirs done, and we looked at them and go, "Oh my God, let me see yours!" And oh my God, and people would say, "Oh my God, aren't you beautiful?" And you can really believe that when you see it. So it's so neat. Like I said, if we really kind of related to each other in the terms of, that site or that picture, it's just really, really cool. I mean, I know I said that earlier. It was just awesome.
Well, all of these fractal holograms can be animated, which brings out another whole dimension where you're feeling it, and then to have your own hologram, projected onto your body it's just such a shifting experience. It's like, because it's expansive. Holograms and fractals are infinite in nature. They never stop. Basically, if you see one, you're just getting a glimpse of 1 millisecond of information in an infinite hologram, which is who we are. That's what's being reminded in the process, is that you are a fractal hologram. You are full of beauty. You are endless. You are beginningless. You are love incarnate, and no matter what the story has told, you're just in the midst of a story. We've never, one moment in all of our story, ever been separated from infinite love. And
But
so we can be reminded of that. It's easy for us to shift all of those energies.
mm-hmm. And in all the programs that I do and all that I've, kind of researched and gone through all these years, it's really belief that shifts you in a lot of ways. And I think looking at the holograms, your subconscious belief can really get activated because it's true, and you see that visually, and the colors that you use that are so healing. People know that I do a program that I call it, or 9 dimensions. So the dimensions within the geometry and the colors and the fractals are just awesome. And there's a lot of comments saying I'll be ordering mine, and asking your email. So I have that up again too. So you definitely should be hearing from some folks on the show here today.
I will. I wasn't planning on it, but as I'm listening, if you're interested in an animated one, I'll certainly extend that 10% off. Those are a little bit. They're an additional price. They're a little bit more because they're very involved, but they're $200 for an animated version. But I'll be happy to extend that 10% off. Ask for them.
Very cool. Okay. And then the classes you have going right now, is this something you're going to be continuing to offer, the holographic healer class?
Oh, I absolutely believe so, because I'm so delighted. But I'm actually, I think the next class I'll be doing is a class that it's been my most, I guess you'd say, successful class that I've done over the years, called Conscious Marketing. And
Mhm.
for anybody that's in any kind of spiritual related, life affirming related kind of business or wanting to start and connect, it is a class that I taught, probably started 5 or 6 years ago, and had enormous success of how to open an audience, how to get people listening, how to create content, even merchandise, and how to create stuff that people would want to buy and pay for. We live in this absolutely remarkable digital world now, right?
Mhm.
Where digital content can be created and sold all online, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I love it when spiritual souls that want to affirm the world can create streams of income doing what their soul delights in doing. I call myself a spiritual capitalist because I think money is an absolutely amazing energy. It's just energy to me. There's nothing to judge about it. And when you lose all your judgments about it, and you're creating things that delight people's soul, like for example, you can see that the personal hologram for Cathy delighted her soul. Her whole face changed just
Mhm.
talking about it, right? So
Right.
things that people can enjoy. I love it. There's a way for us to interact, and somebody can exchange some money energy for your gifted energy. Maybe it's, art, maybe it's a guided meditation. All those things can be created. And so that's the next course I'm going to be teaching. I'm going to start doing some videos around it on Facebook coming up. And it's just a lot of like how-to skills, how you can go about it. Facebook is one of the primary ways in which an entire audience around the world can be drawn together.
Mhm. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to put your contact information up, and we've got Brenda saying fabulous, and yeah, even Celeste was saying, Cathy, your face is excluding your love of yourself. It's easy to see the effect of the hologram has on that. So that, thank you for Celeste for saying that. But we don't think of ourselves as we see all our flaws more than we see the beauty. So it's like, wow, that's really cool. Um,
And the moment, beauty has such a powerful, it's why art and poetry and all of those things are so profound, because when we experience beauty, beauty has an energetic effect of openness, right? So if I walk up to the Grand Canyon and I look over, my whole soul goes, right? We usually breathe in, our mouth opens up, we're taking it in, we're opening. And when we're open, we are exchanging our light and our movement. We're not only receiving, but we're exhaling our light, our glory, our joy. And so when we can enter into that beauty, when we can move past the story that we've created, because our lives are malleable, right? Our lives are unbelievably malleable. We can transform and change them. You might say, well, Keith, I have done some stuff that just disqualifies me. Baloney. You've never, nothing could be done in this world that disqualifies you. Nothing has ever, for 1 millisecond, ever separated you from love and your purpose. And when you can be reminded, even for a second, and that's why I love the power of laying on of hands, because there's something that changes, there's something that transforms, and someone's allowed for a moment to go, I can see beyond, because I don't have Cathy's history, right? I don't have any connection. I don't have any judgment of it. I can just be present in that beauty, in
mhm.
her poetry, right? As a masterpiece of the divine that's moving and flowing in infinite light and glory.
Yeah, and people are saying, yes, my soul, their soul expands with beauty, with happiness. So, yeah,
Yeah,
some comments on that. Mm-hmm. And Keith, what was so we forgot what your Facebook, is it Fractal Mandala?
fractal, quantum fractal.
Nothing fractal. Okay.
Facebook.com/quantum fractal.
Uh-huh.
I also have a profile, but I mean, almost everything I publish anywhere always goes to quantum fractal first.
Yeah, and you can see a lot more art on there. It's really beautiful. Just to go onto the page is beautiful.
Yeah, you can explore for a while. There's some videos about the holophotonic light chamber that if you're interested in participating there. All of these new clothes. There's some you'll see an image of the duvet covers with a number of holograms. I did one of some yoga pants, and people's responses have been awesome. So feel free to participate and give me some of your opinions on those because I'm excited. I'm hoping to be ready in the next couple of weeks to actually have some people come and meet with me if they can get here and start filming people in these holographic clothes.
Oh, cool.
Because it just feels so natural to put people in these and let people see the light and see the light hitting them and how it feels in their energy field.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. If anybody want to come and be a model, uh, make sure you email me and tell me if I'm in the what's called Kitsap County in Washington. I'm out on the peninsula in Washington State.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and we talked for off and on for a number of years, getting you here to do a retreat. So hopefully we can work on this
As
sometime.
long as we have a group of people, I'm there. So if you
Mm-hmm.
10 or 15 people together, I will get there and we'll do because all of my retreats, all of my are all hands-on, experiential, working with one another in the field, breaking out of our boundaries, our fears, our assumptions that keep us believe in the story. Which is there's a reason why the story goes on, but what we don't remember is that it's malleable. If I go, okay, uncle, I don't want to do this anymore. Guess what? You don't have to, right? You don't have to carry on with negative relationships. You don't have to carry shame on any kind of level. You're free to transform and change that in the most magical, effortless ways.
And I think with yours being like a retreat like yours, I mean, there's tons of things, of course, that we can do online, and we're online doing this, which is really awesome. And we're doing some more experiential types of wellness retreats this fall with Dr. Karen Can. But things like yours are actually color projections that you can probably get just a totally different experience in
Well,
person.
that's one of the things we do all the time is we create, projected holograms on people over and over, and then we do a bunch of exercises and games almost that allow us to break out of the finite, dramatic game that we call our life and realize this was always just a projection of something on purpose so that we could experience love in all of its beauty and all of its wonder. And so, yeah, I would love to. I would be happy to set that up. And it's a deep dive and connecting. You learn to begin to work with other souls and your own soul, and it's really magnificent. A lot of hands-on work.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yep, I got folks saying, yeah, I'd love to come, and some folks out near you as well. So you may be hearing from some folks in your area.
Oregon or parts of can't come and hang out. I always love when people show up and do some work. I'm an artist, so I do a lot of photography as well, and I create artwork out of that. If you start exploring my page, you'll see I do a lot of angelic stuff and goddessy type stuff. So always looking for people that can come and just bring their glory and their beauty.
Very cool. Yeah, we're on the opposite side of the country, unfortunately, but always accessible.
I'll be happy to, and just I guarantee if we do a retreat, just be ready to be touched and to touch and connect and open beyond any fear. All of those things are just little ways in which we create a dramatic story. But guess what? Sometimes stories get old,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to keep it going. You don't have to continue. Not a single story in your life has to be perpetuated. You can change at any moment your story. You can bring in delight and intimacy, passion, joy, fullness in the richest, deepest ways.
Mm-hmm. And I've got a comment from Brenda here. Says this is awesome and it's wonderful of all you do to share these things with us. Many thanks.
Wow,
So
Brenda.
yeah. And yeah, I mean, you'll have to rewatch the show, Keith, because I've been putting up lots of comments from everybody, everybody connecting and saying hello. Judy Huffman, you were saying, how does that work? I'm not sure what you were asking the question of, but maybe you want to either email Keith or put something in the comments while we're here, kind of finishing off the show, and I'll see if we can get an answer for you.
I'd be happy to answer any of those questions. If you're asking about the light, I use projection of light and animated fractal holograms that I project directly onto the body. And then in that process, I also do some transformational healing work and moving through timeline realities and opening the doorway for whole new experiences, that nothing is fixed, that nothing's broken. Your body's not broken, your life's not broken, your relationships aren't broken. You are in the midst of an absolutely beautiful story that the infinite has beheld in the most honored, beautiful way. But in the midst of that, you can always say, Uncle, like, you know what? I want to be poor forever. Okay. We'll open the door and all of a sudden ideas flow through you, and your economy could change within weeks, if not months.
It's interesting where I mean, I do the energetic work as well, which folks know, and love this show that I'm able to do every Sunday because it pulls me back. Because at the lodge, I kind of call it my energy lab, because people come in and out and you can see how they pay for things or how they want to purchase things. And it's really interesting to look at that particular energy exchange, whether they think you're expensive or not expensive, or whether they'd really like to get that little thing in the store, but you can see them go, oh, I really don't want to spend that. So you can kind of see that energy exchange.
For everything, right? So like we could decision on something that costs $2,000 and make it in 30 seconds and absolutely pain ourselves over a gas station that charges an extra nickel for a gallon of gas, right? And we're just in turmoil, over it's part of our process. All those things can change because it's just energy. And if you're open to it, the economy is eternal and infinite all around you. Money is all around you. All you have to do is tap in a little different, and all of a sudden you're now receiving and giving. Because my favorite word for money is currency, right? Which it's just a current. It comes to you, through you, and out from you. It's always moving. Having money under your bed doesn't do a lot, right?
Yeah. And we're pretty much we're running out of time, but I got an answer from Judy here. She said, so you get a picture of us and then make the graphic, or what? So maybe you want to answer that.
I do sometimes with people. I actually use a picture of them, and I actually put the fractal hologram on them, on their body. But that's not the normal, what we're talking about here. I'm getting your information from your numerology, and from that, I create a numerology report and a personal hologram as a digital element that I send you.
Right, and I just put up you got my name and birthday, and I just put up my my fractal again too, so they could see that.
It's really beautiful and expansive, like a butterfly.
That's really cool. Yeah, and they're all so different. I mean, of course we know we're different, but then you look at the fractal and you go, oh my gosh, there's infinite expressions in there.
Yeah, if you're interested, email me or message me on Facebook. If you want to come model with me or hang out for a few hours some afternoon, get here. Door's always open.
Okay. Well, thanks, Keith. It was nice to connect with you this way. I look forward to the class this afternoon. So I will be there because we're actually closed tonight, so I'll be able to make the class.
Perfect.
So that's cool. And yeah, if you want to connect with Keith, we've got all his contact information there. And Judy, you're welcome. Thank you, Kelly Jean. Yeah, a lot of comments, so we have to rewatch the show and I make that because there's a lot of comments that were there, Keith, so you can respond to those as well. Okay. All righty.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.